All right, hi there. Welcome back again, everybody, to FM Projects. And with Yanbian FC, we've got a very interesting match for you here today as we take on Cangzhou. And this is going to be perhaps a critical match for us here in the Chinese FA Cup. As you can see, we have a slightly modified, slightly changed team for you here today. Back looks familiar. Paulson and Quinn in the back. Janovic and his North Korean friend Park Myung-sung. We have Calvo and Wade here, a very young defensive midfield coupling. We have Kim Yong-il here playing on the right wing, Han Jin on the left wing, with Para back up front, the hat-trick machine, and Rovaglia also up front. And we will see if this happens. We'll see if they let us do this, since we only have two Chinese players there in the first-team squad. But let's see what happens. This is where we figure out what the rules are actually like in this game. And here we go with the into the stadium. You can see that we have a pretty large crowd here this evening. Cangzhou coming in fairly poor form, which is good for us, but they are two divisions ahead of us, and so this is really a test of our mettle and test of our ability and what it is that we can do. And so this is a pretty exciting match. And we started off, of course, on the wrong foot without the ball, but let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get it back here, and we do get it back in the midfield. There's Para. Para takes it up front to Han Jin. Han Jin has a man who is offside, decides to take it himself and shoot. It's okay. We want him to keep being aggressive and keep trying to play it forward like that. Kim Yong-il now. Kim Yong-il kicks it forward to Quinn. Nothing happening there on that free kick. Over to Janovic. Back to Kim Yong-il. And not able to keep that one down, unfortunately. I worry a little bit because I think this may qualify as a big match. And I think we have two players who don't enjoy playing in the big matches. So we'll keep an eye on them. I know Kim Yong-il is one of them. Para now. Para over to Kim Yong-il again. Kim Yong-il has been the center of everything so far over to Han Jin. And Han Jin just can't keep that one down. And Han Jin, I think, is the other one who doesn't like playing in matches that are big and that are exciting. And it looks like so far he's getting his opportunities, but he's just not putting them away. And so we'll take a look and we'll see what happens and make a change if we need to. Paulson now with it back to Calvo. Has it taken off of him, but he gets it right back over to Quinn. Wade now. Wade moves it up to Rovaglia, over to Kim Yong-il, over to Han Jin, and he needs to score that one. Han Jin has had, I think, like 3 opportunities now that he needs to score because he's wide open. Excellent pass from Kim Yong-il, and that one I don't fault him too much. I mean, he just didn't have the right angle on it, but you kind of want to see a little bit more from him than that. Janovic now over to Pak, and Pak once again misses that shot from a little bit wide. Looking good so far in this match. No goals scored for us yet. Cangzhou hasn't had any sort of offense yet. Kim Yong-il now kicks it forward to Quinn, and Quinn's header just misses, and I think that bounced off of something. Maybe that was the top netting or something like that. And it remains quiet, and Han Jin is just having a bad game. And I think it is probably time to make some very, very early substitutions, especially since I see that we have Calvo who's injured. It means that it's time to put Mr. Kwon back out. And Han Jin is not up for this. We're going to put Guo out for him. And we'll keep an eye here as well on Kim Yong-il, who is playing in an unfamiliar position, and sort of see what happens. Now it looks like these changes aren't going to be made until the next stop and play. Unfortunately, I guess I wasn't quite fast enough. Han Jin has that ball taken straight off of him, and he probably was not the correct player to start. This is why I hate playing with players who don't enjoy big matches, because you never know what is and what is not a big match. Calvo now over to Kim Yong-il. Kim Yong-il back to Wade. Wade forward to Han Jin again for yet another chance, and he misses it yet again. It winds up being a corner for us, which isn't too bad. We make the changes, and let's see what we can do. Paulson now with the corner. Knocks it up there. The keeper gets to that before anyone else does. Para now with it. Park Myung-sung over to Rovaglia. Back to Park Myung-sung. Back to Rovaglia again. Over to Kim Yong-il. 2 men up in front. And Kim Yong-il blasts that one over the top of everybody. This is from earlier. That's going to be the highlight. Has got to be Han Jin. Yep, coming up forward, and that one actually was deflected. So I mean, at least he sort of had a chance on goal, but not a very good game so far from Hanjin. I think that he was just falling apart because of how big this match is. Rovaglia now back to Kim Jong-il over to Wade. Rovaglia back to Wade again, and Wade now in an attacking position, almost runs out with it, which is kind of silly. Wade now back again. Paulson's fouled, and Mr. Kwon comes up to take the penalty. He's been on the pitch for about 5 minutes, going to get the first goal of the game. Let's see what happens here. And there it is, Mr. Kwon able to beat the keeper, and he is a high-quality player. He's always been a high-quality player. He's clearly one of the best players on the squad, one of our leaders, I would say. And he puts that one in, no nonsense from him. And he gets the goal quickly, and we are up 1-0. And this is exactly what we wanted to see. We've had an excellent XG so far. We should have more than one goal. Jonovic now over to Para, back to Mr. Kwon. Mr. Kwon, when he's in there, is always in control. Rovaglia misses one from point-blank range. Not too concerning for me, though. It's better that we get the ball in that sort of position. That's the first time I've seen anything really from either one of the strikers so far in this game. He had a good thought and had the keeper beat, just blasted a little bit too hard. Paulson now over to Mr. Kwon to Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-il back to Park Myung-sung, the North Korean connection. Park Myung-sung not quite able to get it forward, but almost wins it back and does in the end. Kwon now back to Kim Jong-il, and we just do the same thing again. Back to Park, back to Kim Jong-il, and boy, he almost gets that cross in there. A very, very dangerous cross is that was played a little bit behind where the defenders were, and put us in a good position. And Cangzhou now with their first attempt of the game, and I'm not sure what Hoyu is doing there. He waits for it to take a deflection off of the front of the bar. I don't think I've ever seen that one before, and then winds up catching that in midair somehow. I don't know. That was almost like something from a Looney Tunes cartoon or something like that. That was a little bit odd. And we're just going to move forward here. Everybody's having a good game except for Hanjin, who is displaying a little emotion. Take a quick look at him here, and there it is right there. He does not enjoy big matches, and certainly did not enjoy this one. I do have a question as to how big of a match this actually is, but so it is. Everybody thinks that we're going to win. Here's Guoi now back to Jonovic. In other words, this isn't like we're facing a huge team that's way above us. Wade now back to Park Myung-sung, and Park Myung-sung is almost fouled in the penalty box. No call, though. To Wade back to Park Myung-sung again, and his cross goes nowhere. It was good defense by Cangzhou. Cangzhou, who now have at least the beginning signs of a little bit of offense, and we're in danger here. We need to get the ball back. We need to provide at least some sort of game. And Kim Jong-il now, who really wants to win, having a good game. Quinn ends up with the ball back to Wade, and there's Para. And Para just needs to pull that one down a little bit. I think he may have been offsides as well. Very, very good attempt by him, though. You can see, Kim Jong-il having a good game, Wade having a good game. Mr. Kwon, as always, is in firm control of everything in midfield. And we really should have started him. We're going to run into a problem here because we can't start him every single match. But certainly for matches like this that are sort of must win, we're going to need to start him. I don't care what my assistant manager says. We're going to start Mr. Kwon, who's a very, very key player for this team. Quinn over to Wade now, and we're knocking around midfield nicely. Back to Kim Jong-il, over to Park Myung-sung, back to Wade again, back to Park Myung-sung. So we threaded that knot nicely over to Kim Jong-il, and then back to Kwon, who takes a shot from range, and that's not troubling anybody. That looked very, very nice, though. You can see that Cangzhou is playing pretty heavily defensively here, and it's that pass that goes backwards. It's that pass that goes into the penalty area, and just goes a little bit behind everybody. That's so dangerous because it leaves men wide open, and the defenders, at least in this match, don't know how to respond. We're going to make another change here in a second. We're going to take one of these forwards off. We're just simply not having good games. Mr. Kwon now over to Park, and he's trying to get that crossover again, and this time it's intercepted, and it's about time to make a substitution here, and I worry that Cangzhou is about ready to score, and we try to encourage the team. And it looks like Wade is tired, but I think we only have We do have 5 substitutes. Okay. With 5 substitutes, I suppose we'll put Songjun in. A little bit scary. And Para is not having the greatest of games. And so for him, we will put in Gao Yang. I was going to actually start Gao Yang at first in today's game, but Para had the 2 hat tricks coming into this and the perfect 10 rating, and I thought, well, we might as well start him again and see what he can do for us. And that is a goal from Cangzhou Bar Maritu, and that's absolutely ridiculous goal. And that one is taken away for offsides, which is the correct call, but I mean, he was offsides by like the length of a foot. I'm upset about Ho Yu letting that one in. He should be able to make that save every single time. And I'm starting to see why the players are concerned that we have not enough depth at goal. Now the transfer period is over, and I've instructed our scouts to look at every single Chinese goalie in the world. We'll see if we can convince somebody to come over. We have problems with goaltenders in China who do not enjoy big matches, which from what I've seen makes up about 70% of the goaltenders that we have to choose from. And that was a fairly good attempt, but just simply not good enough. Jonovic now with the ball, back to Ho Yu. And Jonovic again, over to Paulson. Back to Quinn now. And, I know that they want to develop Chinese goaltenders, but the wrong way to do it is to force teams to have that. And Congzhen, of course, loses the ball right away, and I was worried about that. And Ho Yu does make the save, but boy, this is a little bit concerning. And we are on the back foot now. And there's another corner, and Cangzhou has the opportunity here to tie this one up, and you can sort of see that that's kind of what the computer manager is thinking about. And there it is. Zheng Kaimu gets the goal for Cangzhou, and this does not make me happy at all. And I mean, there's really not too much you can do. He's taller than most of our players there in the back. There's not too much you can do about that, but we need to be winning this match. I mean, we've completely dominated the whole thing. Songjun is not showing up today, which I suppose is part of the problem. Ravaglia, now he's offside anyway. This was an interesting looking thought, and you can see us threading it back through again, but Ravaglia doesn't know where he is. He takes that step back, and he's okay, but he's just simply in no man's land, and I'm worried that this is going to go to penalties or whatever it is that they're going to do. That's not what we want. Not with the goaltender that we have, Gao Yang now. And, I mean, again, that was the thought. But he's come straight off of injury and is not playing quite as well as we'd like to see him. And he needs to learn how to use his teammates here. We still have some problems with poor cohesion. And is a little bit tense, worried about giving up a late equalizer. Looks like we have extra time. All right. Let's see what we can do. All right, I'm just taking a quick look and seeing who I need to substitute. I think we get 2 substitutions here. Ravaglia is having an awful game. I'm going to put out Kim Kung-jin. That means we'll have 3 North Koreans here on the squad. And we'll keep it at that. Surprised that Ravaglia would have such a poor game, but then again, we're up against a different level of competition, and he is a young player who doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Songjun now. Songjun, not really the player that I want to have there in defensive midfield, but again, Lee is still injured. He's out for 2 more months. And so he's going to get his chances. Mr. Kwon now able to get back to that, and that ball is just taken off of him, and we have a problem now. As it's Sabit now who comes forward for Cangzhou. I'm pausing as I look forward to see what we have. Park Myung-sung comes and saves us and keeps that from being a completely successful counterattack for Cangzhou. Park Myung-sung now with the throw-in over to Kim Young-il. Kim Young-il over to his compatriot, and nothing going there. Songjun, though, able to get back to that, and up to Jonovic. And Jonovic over to Kim Kung-jin, and I suppose that's going to count, and we will see. And they are going to count that. And that was a sort of fortuitous goal for Kim Kung-jin. I mean, he's just in the right place at the right time. You know, it was a poor attempt by Xiao Puliang, the goalie, to stop that one. And Kim Kung-jin is just right there for the rebound and is able to sort of tap that one in. We have an XG of almost 4, only 2 goals in this match, which shows you, I think, just how defensively Cangzhou has been playing. And let's see if we can just put this one away. It would be nice to get a second goal. Park Myung-sung now over to Songjun, and he's slowing it down. Finds Kim Yong-il over to Gao Yang. That was a beautiful pass by Kim Yong-il. I mean, wow. Kim Yong-il now with the corner. This was just an incredible pass to find him. I mean, anyway. And Guo Yi is able to get back on that one and win it back off of his man. And the other Kim Kung-jin just about is able to get around on that one. Yeah, we want to take another look at this one. So Kim Yong-il gets it and hits it his first time there to Gao Yang, who is streaking ahead of 4 defenders. And maybe he is doing pretty well after that injury. Jonovic over to Mr. Kwon, back to Songjun. Songjun now over to Gao Yang again. Gao Yang, and it's over to Guo Yi. And boy, it looks like we had almost something going there, but just not quite. And we have problems now as Guo Hao is running the ball straight through our defense. And Ho Yu, thankfully, is equal to the task and able to stop that one. Gao Yang now with it, and he's offside. I guess I didn't see where he was offside before. That must have happened before the pass came forward. He looked like he was clearly onside to me, and we get no replays possible. That was just a bad call by the referee. And we've given up a penalty here. It's Mr. Kwon who is given a straight red card for that one. And there's not much that we can do about this. And we're not able to see a replay of that. And they're about to tie this match. We're going to go to penalties. And Ho Yu doesn't know what he's doing out there. Kante hits the penalty. That is a surprising straight red card call to me. I kind of worry about Mr. Kwon winding up being suspended for that. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should be winning this match. And I have to question that call. I have to question that one. And we may wind up with some drama because I think that I may, if there is a... oh man, we're about 2 inches away from grabbing the go-ahead goal there. If there is a suspension that comes along with that, and Jonovic is injured, and this is a problem. But if there is a suspension that goes along with that, I am going to protest against it because I don't think that was a red card. That was ridiculous. All right, we're going to hand this one over to the assistant manager who wants Aiden Quinn to take the first penalty. And here we go. Boy, I do have other things to do today, which is why I'm filming this a little bit earlier in the morning. And I really, really dislike penalties in Football Manager. And so here we go with the 11-meter lottery. And here comes Quinn up there now, and he does score. We'll just go with what the assistant manager says. That's perfectly fine for us, and hope that we have good luck. Sunzu now, and Ho Yu is able to get to that one. I tell you, with Ho Yu up there, I always have to sort of hope and pray that he does something right. Gao Yang now, and he scored that one easily. He made that look like child's play. Jung Kai-mu now for Cangzhou. Match that we should have won in normal time, but it was, I feel at least, sort of taken away from us because of that ridiculous penalty call against Mr. Kwon. Kim Yong-il now, and Kim Yong-il able to score, of course. That was ridiculous. The penalty call, I think, was fine, but I think it was a ridiculous straight red card. Jiangzhe. And here's Songjun for us now. Not really the person I want to have up here, but we'll go with it. And he gets it, and... now comes that dramatic time that they always present for you. We've done fairly well so far in this shootout. We've hit every single goal. Ho Yu, let's see if Ho Yu can stop Yang Xiaotian. Boy, he barely got that one home, didn't he? That was very, very risky of him to go high, and he's able to kick that just right over Hoyu's head. And Jiang Jianyi now, who is currently our record signing, I think we have another one coming in soon, and he wins it for us. And there you have it. Yanbian wins on penalties in a match that we really should have dominated. Janovic is an injury concern, and everybody played well, really, with the exception of one player whose name I'm trying to recall. Hanjin did not have a great game. Rovaglia also not a great game, but we won at the end, so it's all right. And there you have it. Well, if you enjoyed that, as always, please remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more games, one every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.